All set. All right. Well, welcome to the Cisco U Theater for our final talk of Cisco Connect Latin America. My name is Hank Preston. I'm a principal engineer here at Learning and Certifications. And in this conversation, we're going to talk about the road to CCNP, the Cisco Certified Network Professional, our professional tier certification. And once you've earned the CCNA, or even these days, you don't have to have pre-earned the CCNA, but the next step towards that expert level, senior level certifications is the CCNP. And my goal in today's session is to describe everything you need to know to set your own path on that road. Because even though the event is pretty much over at this point, there is plenty more left to happen in your own careers. The first decision to ask yourself and to decide when you tackle and say, okay, I want to move towards a professional level certification from Cisco is which CCNP. We have a family of Cisco Certified Network Professional certifications, 5 of them. Our long-standing, the traditional one that focuses on routing and switching, campus WAN, that would be our Enterprise, CCNP Enterprise. The CCNP Enterprise is joined by CCNP Collaboration. Previous name for that would have been Voice, but once we got video and meetings and these other technologies came in, we renamed it to Collaboration, and those are included there. If your networking skills include servers, storage, data center types of technologies, application-centric infrastructure fabric, we have our CCNP Data Center, which tackles those. We also have CCNP Security, where we focus in on traditional network infrastructure security with firewalls, VPNs, Identity Services Engine, as well as newer technologies like threat hunting and making sure the cloud is secure and application is secure. And then finally, Cisco, or the CCNP service provider, focuses on the technology specific to the service provider environment. So advanced, large-scale internet-based routing, think MPLS, major BGP types of cycles, segment routing, so the focus technologies that are in there. Each one of these certifications is a CCNP. So if you have a CCNP Enterprise, you are a CCNP, just like someone who might have CCNP Security. But that's the first step, because that will help you understand what do you need to learn, what do you need to prepare for in order to earn your CCNP. Speaking of, what does it take to earn a CCNP? We have a graphic we use that shows the Cisco career certifications that show the entire portfolio for what we offer, from our associate level certifications all the way off to expert. But we're focusing today on our CCNP. So if we zoom into this area, you'll notice there is a family of exams that you can take that are in the Cisco Certified Network Professional space. And it can feel a bit overwhelming. So let me see if I can try to break it down. There are 2 categories of exams. We have our core exams that you can see here listed as core. And then we have what we refer to as our concentration exams. So a CCNP requires 2 exams. You have to take a core exam and one of the concentration exams from the same domain, the same family. And you can see them generally color-coded. And so let's say you wanted to go after that traditional CCNP Enterprise. So that's our green tier. So we have our Enterprise Core, and then one of the concentrations. Maybe you want to focus on advanced routing, or wireless implementation, wireless design, or some of the newer ones, such as cloud connectivity or network assurance. One of each will pass there. If you want to go after your collaboration, you can see we have a collaboration core and then different collaboration concentrations you can take as well. There are a few concentration exams that are a little bit special. You'll see we have an enterprise automation, security automation, service provider automation, and so on. The automation exams fall within their tier, so data center, collaboration, and so on, but they also fall within the tier for the DevNet Professional, Cisco Certified DevNet Professional. And so if you take, for example, the enterprise automation, that concentration qualifies you for the enterprise, CCNP Enterprise, as well as the DevNet Professional there. And so if you're on the automation side as well, you can kind of get 2 for the price of 1 with a concentration exam. So as a reminder, in order to earn a CCNP, you have to take 2 exams, a requisite core from one of the domains, and then one of the concentration exams that go through. You can't take a security concentration and a security or an enterprise core, right? You can certainly take both, but they won't earn you a CCNP. They have to be from the same domain. The other thing to recognize is about the technology or the core exam versus the concentration is there's some different characteristics to those. The core exam is a 120-minute exam, and it will have about 100 questions. Each one of our exam forms vary a little bit depending on which question set you get. If you have more hands-on simulations, you might have less overall questions. So they mix and match, but it's about 100. Most of the questions will be multiple choice. Right, so you'll have a question that's given there, a series of answers, and then you have to pick either one or two or maybe three correct answers from those. We also have questions that are types of drag and drop, where you drag answers onto a configuration. The common one you might see here is like sorting routing protocols into different types of standard versus proprietary, or what's a layer 2 versus a layer 3 protocol, right? So drag and drop types of questions. We also do have some questions that are simulations, and so you may be asked to configure something on an actual device. And so we would put you on the console for those devices and ask you to perform whatever tasks are important. So those are the types of questions you might see. The core exams are a broad range of topic across the domain. And so as we saw with the enterprise considers campus switching, campus routing, wireless, SD-WAN, like there's a lot of different topics, and we have different concentrations on each of those. At the core exam, you're going to get kind of a broad. They won't be very deep in the technology, but you'll get kind of across the entire domain swath of questions. Because we consider this information that every professional from that domain should know this detail. You have to take the core exam from that domain. Right? So if you want to earn your CCNP Enterprise, you have to take the Enterprise Core. On-core is what we call it. And then the on-course is what we refer to as the qualification exam. So if your road in your certification isn't going to stop at CCNP, if it's going to go to CCIE, and you want to earn your CCIE Enterprise, the core exam is the exam you have to take in order to qualify to take the lab exam. So it adds that in. 3-4 years ago, we had a specific CCIE written exam you had to take. That's not the case anymore. Now it's just the technology core exam from the domain. Moving from the core exam into the concentration exams are a little shorter. They're only 90 minutes, and there'll be somewhere between 80-ish questions that you'll see on there. These are also primarily multiple choice, same types of formats. You might see some simulation types of questions. But these exams, rather than being broadly across the entire domain, are concentrated on a specific technology, job role, or function. So maybe it's wireless design, wireless implementation, VPNs. So we're concentrating in. Because a CCNP in enterprise, if you're a CCNP in enterprise, maybe you're focused on wireless while you're focused on advanced routing. And so you can specify, you can concentrate based on the concentration exam you're after, which provides an evaluability. One of the concentrations is required to earn the CCNP, but you can of course take more than one of the concentrations. You're doing lots of different work and you want to validate your skill set, you can take as many of those as you like. And as mentioned on the other one, if you take the auto concentration from a domain, it lets you double dip into the DevNet Professional and the CCNP. So you get a little bit of both. A few key points to keep in mind. Every one of the exams has a 3-year validity. And so in order to earn a CCNP, you have to take 2 exams. If you take the first exam and then you wait 4 years to take the second, right, they're not close enough together. They have to be done within 3 years in order to earn that certification. There are no prerequisites. You used to have to earn a CCNA in order to earn the CCNP. Back in 2020, we removed that. And so if we have a network engineer who's been doing it for a long time, never earned their CCNA, they can jump right into the CCNP. They don't have to do the CCNA first. Okay. The exams can be taken in either order, not a problem. So you can do the core, then the concentration, then core, whatever you're the most comfortable with. Now, a question we get a lot is, what is the passing score, right? What score do I have to get? We don't publish the passing score for any of our exams for a couple of reasons. One of them is related to exam security. That's just a bit of data that we don't want out there. The other one may sound a little bit weird, but every exam may have a slightly different passing score. Not hugely different, right? It's not like one exam is a 60% and another exam is 80%. But whenever we create an exam, we look at the difficulty of the question mix, and then we set the passing score based on consistency across all of the exams. And so if we've got one exam form that's a little harder, maybe its passing score is a couple of points less. Now that said, I always recommend if you study and you try to make sure that you can get 80%, you're probably in a good position to pass that exam. And as mentioned, you can take more than one concentration. Okay? So now that you've ready, you know that you're going to go after it. How do you schedule an exam? What does it take? Well, there's really two steps. The first step is deciding when you want to take the exam. And even if you're early in your studies, I always recommend sit down and kind of look at a calendar and say, here's when I'm going to put a target date on. At least for myself, if I have a deadline, I work much better. If I know that I want to earn my CCNP someday, well, it's really easy to put off studying, right? The sun's out, it looks really nice. I'm going to go outside, I'm going to go to the beach, right? I'm going to go have a cerveza, right? But if you know, hey, I have to get this done in the next 3 months and I got a deadline, like that really helps. It puts the definition that's in there. So once you've picked that, then go ahead and schedule your exam by going to Cert Metrics. It's our exam scheduling, and it's all the information that's in there. I've got the link in here, though I think the slides for all the sessions are going to be sent out to attendees in an email. You'll get a box link so you can download them. So you'll be able to find these links. And then you search for whichever exam you're after. In this case, I searched for ENRC, which is one of the concentrations for enterprise. And then you would go ahead and go through your scheduling. There are a couple of different ways to take an exam. Now, if this wasn't the last session here on the last day of Cisco Connect, I would have said you could have taken an exam here on site at our testing center just upstairs. Unfortunately, it's closed now because we've reached the end of the event. But after this, you can go through and you can take an exam either in person at a Pearson test center. We have hundreds or thousands of them around the world. There's probably one near where you're at. But in 2020, we also began offering at home with on-view testing through Pearson. And so if you have a room at your home that is relatively secure, it's got a door on it, right? It doesn't have a lot of networking information or busy books and posters on the wall. You can set that room up to be your testing room. You take some photos of the room so that you can show the proctors what it looks like. You take a camera to go around so they know that you don't have notes on the desk, right? We still want exam security to be secure. And then once that's done, you can take it right from your laptop, and remote proctoring happens from the camera on your laptop to monitor you. So we maintain exam security, and that's really important to Cisco. So what do you need to know? You sit down, you decided you're going to work on a core, you're going to work on a concentration. The first step in your studying is to know what is the knowledge I'm going to be asked. And that's where the blueprint or the exam topics list comes in. So the first thing you want to do is go over to Cisco Learning Network and find the exam description and the topics list for your exam, and then download the PDF version of that. Every one of our certification exams, all of them that you can see on the board over there, have a specific blueprint, a topics list. And so as you go into them, you'll see there's some consistent pieces that are in there. There'll be domains, there's weighting, but everything you need to understand to successfully pass that exam will be listed in the blueprint. I always find it a little humorous when I talk to people that are studying for CCNA or CCNP, and I ask them, have you looked at the blueprint? Do you know what we're going to ask you? And they say, oh, no. I'm like, no, that should be the first thing you do. Because it can be really overwhelming to say, well, I'm going to go study for my advanced routing exam. Well, there's a lot if you just hear advanced routing, right? What's in scope? You could ask me almost anything. But if you go find the blueprint for advanced routing, it will tell you exactly what you need to know. These are the questions that you might have. So how do you learn the material? So you've looked at the blueprint, you're ready to sit down. I always recommend the easy way to learn the material. You simply buy the books, put them under your pillow, and then learn through osmosis. Unfortunately, it's actually not that easy to go through, right? It takes work, it takes a commitment. And so even before studying, the recommendation I give everybody is to get into the learning mindset, get your head in the game. You have to make the commitment that you're going to study and learn and deliver. And that gets back to picking that date for when I'm going to sit the exam. Then you have to make an investment. Sure, there's a dollars investment, right? You may have to buy some study material, some training guide. But the real investment, I mean, is a time investment. You have to look at your schedule. I imagine you're all like me, we work full-time jobs, we're very busy. So you have to invest some time into your calendar to say, this is when I'm going to study. When I was actively doing certifications, I sat down and said, okay, Tuesdays and Thursdays, after dinner from about 6:30 till 9:30, that was my study time, twice a week. And then every Sunday afternoon, I would sit down and I would study for 4 hours. Every week, it was in my schedule. I discussed it with my family. They knew that was my job for those times because it takes an investment in time. Now, if your organization, if your manager, your boss, if you work at a partner and getting a certification is good for your company, well, talk to your boss. Maybe they're willing to make an investment. Maybe they'll let you have every Friday morning, right? Go in, work on your studies. They give you some time. It may not be enough to learn everything, but it's a nice starting point to get in. So that investment is really important. As mentioned, the testing date, right? There's nothing that will drive focus more than knowing that I have to take the test on June 3rd, right? It gives you that piece. Okay. And then if you don't already have the CCNA and you're working towards the CCNP, hey, it does not hurt to on-ramp to the CCNA. Two things I like to go for that one. The first one is it gets some confidence. You sit down, you learn what an exam is like, you see some of the material, you see how the questions look, so that'll feel good. It's also a nice progress and say, hey, I earned something, right? I've got my CCNA already. And then there's the other side. I've talked to some engineers and they're like, well, I don't know if I can pass the CCNA. And I'm like, well, if you don't think you can pass the CCNA, that's a problem if you're going for the CCNP. And so that's another one. So there shouldn't be any fear about taking the CCNA if you're working towards the CCNP. Once you're in the learning mindset, let's get to some material. There's no better place to find learning material for a Cisco certification than Cisco U, Cisco Learning's platform for classes. You'll find courses for each one of our certifications that you can dive into that include video lessons from our experts, guided information about technology, as well as hands-on labs. Each one of our courses is jam-packed with goodies. You'll see we've got all of these little lab beakers. If you've got something on your blueprint that says, hey, we expect you to be able to configure OSPF, we'll have a lab for that. If you have something on the blueprint that says you need to be able to configure a SIP trunk, we'll have a lab for that lets you walk through it. These are built to prepare you not just for the exam, but to understand all the technology involved in doing the role that exam is for. And so we really focus hard on building our certification training, not just to pass an exam, but to teach you the knowledge, even deeper than what's on there. In addition to Cisco U, we've got the Cisco Learning Network. Up on Cisco Learning Network, you can go through to webinars and videos, and you'll see that we've got options for many of the tracks and certifications. Inside of there, you'll find webinars that we continually do. A coworker of mine and I just launched, not CCNP related, but a CCNA prep webinars, where now that we've updated the blueprint, we're starting to get back out there, dive deep into these technologies, help people study and understand. And as we record these webinars, they become available on demand through these links that are available. We also have discussion boards. I guarantee you're not the only person studying for that certification right now. So join the discussion board, ask your questions. Community managers like Rigo and all other members of our team will help you find the right answer, connect with the expert that'll be in there. And nothing will make you feel better about your own studies than seeing somebody else with a question and then giving them an answer, helping each other out. Because that's a huge part of kind of studying through, is that community aspect. There's also a wonderful free resource that not everybody realizes is there. So Cisco Live happens 3 times a year. We do one in the US, we do one in EMEA, and we do one in Asia Pacific. Every breakout, every DevNet session are recorded live and made available free in the on-demand catalog. No cost necessary. So if you can't make it to Vegas or Melbourne or Amsterdam, that doesn't matter. There are all of the hundreds of sessions that were released have been recorded. The slides are made available for download. You can see the experts that are there. I went in and searched for CCNP, and there were 31 sessions that popped up from Vegas that tie in. But even outside of just the specific CCNP sessions, if you're studying for CCNP Enterprise and you're new to SD-WAN, well, search for SD-WAN. I guarantee there will be tons of topics from the experts in these technologies at Cisco, all available in the on-demand catalog. And after every event, within 2 weeks, new sessions are published. Now, I'm a bit of an older guy. I've been studying for certifications for a long time. You saw what I have under my pillow. I still think the official Cisco Press certification guides are a great resource. You can get them in physical copy, or you can get them in digital copies through services like O'Reilly Media or PDF versions. But these are excellent resources as well. And we partner with some of the smartest network engineers out there to write these certification guides as we bring out new blueprints and certifications. So we know what CCNP we're going for. We know when we're taking our test. We're starting to do some studying. But what do you do when you have a question? When something comes up and you're not sure exactly how to tackle it, You're not sure of a detail of our exam process or policies? Well, myself, as well as the entire learning and certifications team from Cisco, our job is here to help you. And so you can reach out to me. My contact information is easy to find. The discussion boards, as I mentioned, we monitor those. Right? There's so many places to get that. So don't feel alone. Right? Our entire team is dedicated. We want you to earn your certifications. We want to help you learn that. So you are not alone. The learning communities is a great place, as mentioned, to kind of find other people studying for what you're after. And maybe you're studying for it along with some coworkers at your organization, or maybe just people you know in the area. Create study groups. This is another thing that's really helped me over the years, is to find a couple of study buddies, people working on a certification the same time I am. And so we've got one, right now there's a push inside of Cisco for engineers to earn their CCNP enterprise. And so there's a study group called CCNP Study Group with about 20 different engineers from Cisco that have kind of joined in. So we've jumped in and kind of, we help each other out. Hey, I'm working on this, trying to study BGP this week. Who else is working on it? Hey, who wants to do a presentation on deep spanning tree information? Kind of come together, help each other out, right? Encourage each other, right? Help people maintain accountable. Hey, Bob, I thought you said you were gonna study this weekend. How'd you do? What happened, right? Hold people accountable a little bit. Sometimes we need that from each other. And at the end of the day, technology continues to evolve, and there's always the AI overlords that can help you study if you have questions, right? Sometimes it might be 3 a.m. and you're stuck on a topic. Well, you can go to ChatGPT or Gemini or any of the tools that are there, and you can ask them questions. And they may not be just like having an expert right next to you, but they know pretty good stuff. So here I gave an example. I'm studying for the CCNP and Encore exam, and I'm confused about the difference between type 1 and type 2 hypervisors. Can you help me? A very reasonable definition of the difference was presented. So there's a lot of ways to use some of the technology that's out there to help you kind of earn and learn these topics. Now, I have full confidence that each and every one of you is going to pass your certification exams and earn those certifications. You don't want them to go away, right? So how do you maintain your certifications? Because unfortunately, certifications are not like diamonds. They don't last forever, which is mostly true. I have an asterisk, but because our newest certifications, the Cisco Certified Support Technician Certification, CCST, those actually are lifetime certifications, but those are the real entry-level ones. But our CCNA, CCNP, CCIEs, these need to be renewed every 3 years. And there are different ways to renew the certifications. Right? You can go ahead and take another concentration. You can take more exams, right? Show that you're continuing to learn by learning new skills, taking new exams. That will help you recertify certifications. But a few years ago, we began offering from Cisco continuing education credits, CE credits. These are my favorite ways to recertify because I'm constantly learning new things, but it's not always the same thing that's there. If you are taking new training classes related to a technology, if you're attending events like Cisco Live, or if you're helping us write questions for exams for a certification you have, right, we will give you continuing education credits for that can help you maintain your certifications, right? And so you can combine these. You can recertify with exams, CE credits, combination of both. The other key thing to recognize is, let's say you've got a couple of certifications. You've got CCNP Enterprise, maybe you've got a concentration in security and your CCNA. You don't have to renew each of those certifications. You simply need to renew the highest level of certification you have. And so let's say you're a CCNP, you renew your CCNP, that will automatically renew your CCNA and any specialist certifications you have. So you don't have to renew every certification, just that highest tier. So here's an example. How do we recertify a professional level certification? That would be CCNP or DevNet professional or our cyber ops professional. Right? So you've got some options. You can pass one technology core exam. Remember, we talked about the core exams, every domain, enterprise core, security core, data center core. So let's say we earn that CCNP enterprise, but we're starting to work on security and we go and take and pass the security core exam. Well, that will renew your CCNP enterprise, right? It's all you have to do. You can also take 2 different concentration exams. You could go and take the VPN exam and the ICE exam, and that would recertify you. You can take one expert level exam, so the CCDE written or a lab exam, right? You're going higher up the certification skill set. We would recertify things below that. And then we get into CE credits. You can earn 80 continuing education credits. That would renew your professional level and below certifications. Or if you do one concentration and 40 credits, so you take the VPN exam, and then while studying for the VPN exam, you took the VPN training, right? The combination of the both of those would likely be enough to earn you your recertification. So lots of options. In addition to wanting to make sure you all earn your certifications, it's very important to us at Cisco that you maintain your certifications. And so we want to help you with that. And we always have programs to help push different types of things that are there. From a training or a CE credits, as mentioned, online at Cisco U, if you go to Cisco U, many of the Cisco classes will say this is how many CE credits they're worth. We focus actually, about every quarter, we run a program called Rev Up to Recert, where we highlight a specific training course from the catalog. And often those are courses that typically require a subscription or a pay, but we make them available for free to the entire community for the length of the program. And then if you take that course, finish it, you'll earn your CE credits. If you keep up with those rev ups, that's probably enough over the 3 years to recertify your certifications. So we really do want to make sure you earn them. If you do attend a Cisco Live, we've got breakouts, labs, tutorials, lots of ways to earn CE credits from learning at those events as well. Okay. And then if you do want to help us, once you earn a certification exam, our exam program managers are always looking for professionals like yourselves to help us write good questions. And I specify that, good questions. If you've ever taken an exam, whether from Cisco or someplace else, you know some questions are good, some questions not as good. And so we're always looking for people to help us get really good questions into the portfolio. So if you're interested in that, you can always reach out as well and get in the queue to write some questions, and you can earn some credit for that as well. So in closing, right, I am very much an engineer at heart, and I'm always excited about getting technical, learning new skills, figuring out how to make my screens go red and then back to green, right? It's really fun to be an engineer. And learning skills, earning certifications is great. I took a certification exam this week. I took the DevNet Core exam. Now, I'd already taken it, but I like to take the exam, polish my skills, make sure I still understand what's there. I like being technical. Now, when that link comes out in your email from Mariana, who runs the event with the slides, you'll see that I've got some links in here as well to help you with some useful links. So our policies around exam testing. I did a session this morning, someone asked, hey, if I take an exam and I don't pass it, can I take it again? If you fail an exam, you can wait 5 days, take it again for another attempt. If you pass an exam, we ask you to wait 6 months before you retake it. That's mostly related to exam security. And so all of our policies are listed as well. And I've got links to if you want to test at home, what does it take to test at home successfully, the dashboard, how to schedule, kind of all the things necessary that get in there. And as I said, I'm here to help all of you get your certifications. And so I put my contact information. If you're confused, you're not sure where to go, you're trying to find information for a resource, feel free to reach out to me on email or follow me on blogs. And I'm more than happy to help each and every one of you do your certification. All right. With that, we've come to the end. And so we have our final giveaway here at the Cisco U Theater. Under one of your chairs is going to be a little blue heart. Does anybody see a blue heart under your chair? Congratulations, you have won a nice Cisco U Stanley mug. Thank you for coming. Excellent. And with that, thank you all for coming. Right, it's been a long but fun and educational 3 days, but we are coming to the end of the event, and there is a wonderful celebration to this evening before we all head home. So please enjoy yourselves, enjoy safe travels home, and we'll see you the next time here at Cisco.